Other states are trying to.
Good morning. Welcome to AVNewsCast.com.
The number one news talk radio program in the Antelope Valley and beyond. Angelina, what's so funny?
You know, I usually don't wear my headphones, right? So I'm not listening to the music. Half the times I don't know when we're about to go live, and I just put my headphones on, and I was like, oh, I like that music. I forgot about that.
She's in the music
mood today. Today she's a little bit plugged in.
Ah.
Well, no, it's nice. You got headphones on. You got a mic right in front of you.
I'm a little plugged in.
No, it's good. You're operating at 100% today.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to be in trouble.
Yep.
I could tell that. In a little bit, we are going to have California Assemblyman Steve Fox on the show. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about the passage of his bill yesterday, which is AB 2389. We've had a lot of politicians on our show. And one question that we ask everybody, okay, especially when they're campaigning and running for election, is, hey, what are your top three things? And everybody says, well, jobs, the economy, okay,
and safety.
And usually not everybody has a good answer to how they're going to bring jobs.
Right.
Steve Fox has an answer. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to give it all away right now, but we'll wait for him to come on the show. But he did get something done yesterday, which is going to both retain and create a lot of jobs in the Antelope Valley. Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll have him on the show in a little bit. One thing I want to talk about is talking about jobs. Mm-hmm. Is next Tuesday, California raises its minimum wage to $9 an hour, which is a great thing.
Yeah. Okay,
that's a good thing. And large companies across the country are taking a look at this. And, for instance, the Gap this morning will raise their minimum wage nationwide to match California, $9 an hour. And that's great, because in some states, it's still fluctuating at $7.50.
It's taking off. Because I don't remember the name of the company, but I just saw on CNN, I can't remember the name of the company.
You sure it was CNN? Could have been Fox.
No. I was in a happy mood today. I forgot the name of the company. I feel really badly about it, but it was a medical institution, and the top executives waived their bonuses and gave them to the lower paid individuals to raise them to $10.75.
Really? Oh, that's nice. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. That's
really nice. IKEA is raising their minimum wage.
Nice.
Okay, to $10.76.
What's going on in the world?
Okay, which is a great thing. That's going to...
Isn't it funny how all these major companies are making this courageous move? But when a couple months ago, when we had politicians on the show and they were, up to get elected, and we asked them straight out, what do you think about raising the minimum? They were like, no.
Here's the thing, okay? In that defense, just a little bit, all right? Mm-hmm. It's great, rather than going to the state legislature and saying, hey, this is what we're going to do, mm-hmm. and force-feeding people.
Yeah, but
great.
It wasn't that. They said, I don't think it's a good idea.
Again, go to the companies and say, hey, you know what? This would be great if you do this. Mm-hmm. Let them have the option to do it. Let them look at their own bottom line and decide what they can do and what works. In IKEA's situation, they're giving everybody a 17% raise.
Yeah.
All right?
That's amazing.
It is, because that can really attack your bottom line.
And they're offering insurance. Isn't the world's about to come off its axis? Last year or 2 years ago, companies were going to fall apart. And they were not going to be able to endure, because Obama has made it mandated that you have to give insurance. And people were going to get part-time jobs, and nobody was going to have insurance, and nobody was going to have money. And look where we are today. What did I tell you? Well, you just get out of the way. Let's stop listening to all the gab, and let people settle. And look at all the extra money that these companies.
They don't have a choice.
They do have a choice. They didn't have to increase that. They didn't have to give every employee 17% raise.
That's true.
Neither did The Gap.
That's true.
And neither did the company that I found on CNN.
And what company was that?
I can't remember.
Okay, then that doesn't count. Okay. But here's the thing.
Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello, Siri. What they've seen is, hey, you know what? If we need quality people, and we want to retain quality people, we got to raise what we're paying out.
You do.
Okay?
You do.
Or they're going to go to the competition.
And my whole point was maybe not everybody's going to be able to afford this on their own, but my whole point is we have to stop listening to the doom and gloom that's always being put out there because the opposition wants something to crash. That's my reality. Because 2 years ago when Obamacare came out, it was like, oh my God, it's going to be the death of us all. Companies are going to be folding all over the place.
Yeah, keep going.
I'm just saying.
Because that was something that was force-fed to everybody.
Listen, but look at how they survived it.
We're still working on it.
Yeah, we are still working on it. It's still got major kinks. I get that completely. What'd you say, Jeff? I didn't hear you.
It still hasn't fully kicked in, has it?
Oh, it's kicked in enough. The obligations are still there. I mean, they're there.
Well, okay. What do you think about what happened in Detroit with this missing kid?
Isn't that the weirdest thing? I think the stepmother had something major to do with it.
But she was arrested last night.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
She was arrested last night, unrelated to this.
Oh, no, it's related.
No.
For a traffic violation?
No. Probation violation.
What?
She's on probation.
That's why she got
For
ghost.
purchasing a handgun.
What?
Illegally.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, I'm not making it up.
She was going to take that boy out.
No, see, now that's not true. And she didn't mean that. She's just joking.
Oh, I can't say that.
You're just joking.
Why I can't say that?
Just say you're joking.
I'm not joking. They got her now.
All right.
Why buy a gun?
Now. What?
Why buy a gun?
For home
Was
protection.
there a lot of break-ins in the neighborhood?
For home protection.
So go to the store.
It's Detroit.
Yeah, that's
there
true.
you go.
Okay.
All needs to be said.
But no, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Theirs was one of the only houses on the block that didn't have a 50 cal on the roof for protection. It's Detroit.
Stop it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
mad.
What else did you hear about it?
No, well, this is really interesting. I saw his dad's interview with Nancy Grace.
And what was your impression?
Boy, I don't like her at all. But anyway,
Oh, yeah, I know.
she's
She's
a pill.
tough. Just 15 minutes. She doesn't need a half hour because she'll make you sick.
Yeah, she will.
All you need is the first 15 minutes of her, and then... See, I can say all that, but the woman with the gun shooting up her family, I can't say? Please. Nancy Grace only needs 15 minutes of airtime. Because then she goes into perpetual repeat mode, and it makes you want to throw up.
Yeah, she's just a little bit more lively Gloria Allred, who's another pill. Anyway,
No,
so I
Gloria's
watched.
so much more
I watched
lucky.
the interview, and the dad, Charlie Bothwell's dad, who was also Charlie.
Yeah.
His reaction, I kind of thought it was fake. Okay, I wasn't sure, but I'm just not sure. The dad is very upset because a lot of people across America have been commenting through social media that hey, the whole thing looked fake.
I didn't. Okay. I thought it wasn't that I thought it looked fake. To me, I thought he looked scared to death. You done found him. So that was my first impression. And then I'm saying to myself, well, what would I do in that situation? And I think I would leave.
You think you would leave?
I would run home.
All right, I think we've got
Morning.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Good.
Hey, it was nice seeing you last night at Thursday Night at the Square.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out there. It's kind of difficult, with doing Sacramento 4 days a week.
I bet it is.
Yeah, I know, but you got to get out more often. So I wanted you to come on the show because I want you to talk about the passage of yesterday's Assembly Bill, your Assembly Bill, AB 2389, and its benefits to California and the Antelope Valley.
Okay, what is happening? Hello?
Yeah, you're live on
You're
there.
on live right now, Steve.
Okay. Yeah, eventually, I put a contract for the aircraft. It's called Strategic aircraft program, and advanced strategic aircraft program. And a number of companies through the country will be bidding on it. The applications are due by July. So we decided to give a tax incentive benefit to the companies in California if they were to apply. And now the major companies are actually right in our district. That would be Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman. So we passed at the assembly level, AB 2389. I'm the author. There's a large number of co-authors that have jumped on board as well. We got both parties are very excited about it. The vote in the Assembly was 7-2. Now it's going to go over to the Senate. And what it does is the first five, it's a 15-year tax credit. It is the largest tax credit ever in the state of California for aircraft. The very largest. But it's over a 15-year period. For the first 5 years, it's a maximum cap of $25 million per year. The second 5 years per year is $28 million cap, and the third is $31 million is the cap each year. So what happens is the company builds that into their application process and uses that as part of the application.
Right. So, for instance, when California when we had an opportunity to actually establish California as one of the 7 drone testing sites, which, is really a drag that we didn't make that, but California really didn't, as a state, jump on board. But in this situation, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're involved in aerospace and you're bidding on a DoD project, right, to make yourself competitive, you can reduce your bid, okay, by planning on these tax incentives, okay, and come in under the radar, which is a great thing. Am I right?
It makes us very competitive. And the good news is that the governor and the aerospace have already been negotiating this, and the governor's on board with these specifics. We made urgency legislation, which means it takes effect immediately, not January 1st. And so this is going to be part of the process.
Which is great.
So yes, this time around, I think the governor's learned we have to quickly.
Well, Steve, you've been on the show many times, and a lot of people that have been running both for assembly, against you, as well as in other levels, whether it's city council or anything else. Jobs in the economy are always, number 1, 2 on everybody's bullet list. But when you ask, hey, what are you going to do to create it? Nobody has an answer. Okay, it's nice that you have an answer, Steve.
Well, what this is going to do, and thank you, is that our speculations is that out of this, because don't forget, we're not just putting in the tax credit, but if they get the contract, they get all the government money too. We project it will create 1,100 new jobs, sustain 3,000 jobs in the Yellow Valley if we get it, and there'll be 4,782 spillover jobs for small corporations that are going to be suppliers. So this is going to be the boom. This is like, right here in the Yellow Valley, we're going to have a boom town with people buying houses because they're coming out here. The original top-level jobs are good jobs, they're $100,000 a year jobs. And there's a spillover effect because they'll buy the houses, they'll go to our restaurants. We're bringing money to the Yellow Valley. No more talking. This is something really specific. And I've got both sides on board. To everybody's credit, both the Republicans and the Democrats have jumped on this. I've got a large number of co-authors. Steve Knight is one of them on the Senate side, along with Senator Liu. I've also got Admiral Suchi, who's chairman of our aerospace committee, which I'm also on. And I have the previous speaker, John Perez, as one of the co-authors. I'm the main author, and there's a number of principal authors and regular authors. Both sides have jumped on this. And the governor's on board. This looks like it's going to go through. It passed the assembly. It's going to probably pass the Senate committees on Monday, and I'm hopeful the governor will sign it next week.
I like hearing, because the economy, jobs, everything in the Yellow Valley, is really a nonpartisan issue.
Right.
Okay, it's a quality of life issue here, and it's great to hear that you're working with Senator Steve Knight. Okay, on the other side, and it was great to hear that Steve Knight has rallied a lot of other people. Okay, on the red team to get on board on this, because this is not a partisan problem.
Yeah.
This is a problem that just affects everybody within the district.
Yeah, and I think that if government as a whole would take your lead in that, we probably would be a better place.
Yeah, if you could talk Washington into doing what you and Steve Knight are doing,
Right.
it'd really be helpful, Steve.
Please?
I'll leave that to Mr. Magnet's congressional campaign. Right now, my concern is our Allen Valley.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I was just joking with you. I think this is great, Steve. Let me ask you a question. I know you're working on, and you've been working on getting passage of legislation regarding sexual violent predators.
Yes, I work with the district attorney's department on that. The first level that we thought we could get through was correcting some mistakes in the law. It's AB 1607, and what the problem is there is when they're released, unfortunately, the old law lets them out, and the new law is keeping them life imprisonment. But when they're released, the jurisdiction stays with the court that released them, such as in this case, with Mr. Hubbard, it stays in Santa Clara County. So if the predator comes down here, he violates it, we have to go all the way back up there and try to argue with their court if you probably care less on what to do with it. It also doesn't allow our district attorney or our county to argue it through a legal hearing. What my law is a fix in the law, whereby our county would have standing to talk, and as well as our district attorney. And if the predator comes down here, the jurisdiction would follow the predator, so we could say, we don't like the best part of the area that we want to move, we want to move it. And we'd be able to go to the LA court and argue. That also passed the Assembly, and now that's going to go over to the Senate side. Again, I work very closely with the District Attorney's Department on it. They were very happy with me pushing that through. And that passed the second Assembly Committee the other day. It passed the Assembly. And it passed the Senate Committee, actually. I got it over. It goes to the Assembly Committee from the Assembly, then it goes over to the Senate side. And I got it to the Senate Committee yesterday. So, things are working very well on that bill. What I would like to do next year, if I'm still there, is have a nobody in my backyard law where the predator would have to live on the grounds of the hospital for the rest of his life or the grounds of a prison. Because if you start arguing which assembly district he goes into, you're going to get somebody's going to be angry. So I say, not in anybody's backyard. Let's just keep him, if he was convicted today of life imprisonment, let's keep him living on the prison grounds.
Yeah.
And right now we've got 10% of the sex offenders in our district, which are 1,000, and we only have 2.5% of the population. So we have become the dumping ground for predators, and that's ridiculous. So I'm saying no more.
Yep.
And I got support on the Assembly on my bill, and I'm hoping to be in the Senate.
No, this is all good stuff, and you know that we've got Christopher Hubbard, being released in the next maybe 10 days or 8 days.
We're trying to do everything to stop us. And maybe we just wait to see him make a violation and put him back there for life. Right now, we've made a complaint to the governor's office that we believe that one of the doctors who may have given an evaluation was unlicensed at the time. We've been hearing that, so we made a report to the governor, asked to take a hold of him at least to January when my bill takes effect. The other thing is I'm going before the State Audit Committee and asking for an audit of the hospital that has all the predators. And I'm asking that they take a look and sample some of the evaluations and see if they really are using best practices and can they come up with recommendations not to release them. I'm working on that. That's going to go up July 7th in front of the Audit Committee. So I'm doing different things.
Well, if his evaluation, which actually led to his freedom, was deemed invalid or inappropriate, improper, then maybe his release could be voided and he could go back in.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Or at least go back in for long testing, and then your bill will pass, and then it'll be a moot point.
Yeah,
I'm coming up with every. I'm not taking no for an answer. We're looking over, and it's also there's 900 more predators that are scheduled for release, and I don't want them. I don't want the floodgates coming in my district.
Yeah.
So I'm not just trying to stop this one. I'm trying to stop them all. And I've got the backing of the 2/3 of the legislature, which is the Democratic Party. I've been able to get the Republicans on board too, but I'm pushing good conservative protection safety bills through. that normally a Democrat probably wouldn't author, and I'm getting them through, and I'm getting bipartisan support.
Well, that's great, Stephen. Keep up the good work. You're doing a good job.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Steve.
it.
Thanks for taking the time to come on the show. Have a really great day and have a really great weekend. And
Yeah.
when you're in town, we'll set something up and you can come live on the show and be in studio.
I'd love to. Take
Okay.
care. Have a good
Thanks.
Thanks, Steve.
Bye-bye.
You know, I got to tell you, there's no question about it. He's working hard.
He's working
Yes.
hard, but I just can't get my head around the potential of what he just said. Potentially the doctor that deemed him okay to be released might not have been licensed at the time? What?
I had heard stuff, and I didn't know. I'm glad he talked about it because I didn't know if it was okay if I talked about it. But, yeah, there is something going on, and he has now asked them to go back to the hospital and take a look at all the records because the doctor that may have diagnosed him, okay,
from
and tested
Bolivia
him,
and not-
may not have
Conrad
been
Murray.
certified.
Right.
Okay.
It was Conrad's cousin?
No, it was not Conrad Murray's cousin. May not have been certified, okay, and may not have had the degree to make the decision and determination that they did.
And then you got to go
Okay.
back and see who else he's released.
Yeah.
This is tremendously huge. If that's the case.
Or she, right.
It's a he.
Yep.
I just can't see a woman
That
just
was a he.
releasing sex offenders all over the place.
Okay.
Please don't say it's a
Well,
woman.
these people think differently, okay?
Yeah.
They don't think like the rest of us or our listeners.
I know.
They
Remember
think
when
differently because they think...
had
Michelle.
no, we had a psychologist on the line a while ago when we were talking about Gabriel Fernandez, remember? And she was working for the victim, not the victims, but the perpetrators.
She was
a rape perpetrated.
Victim.
Yeah,
she was a rape victim.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was is now out trying to champion a cause. Okay,
for the rapists.
For the rapists. Okay.
Well,
to make it easier for them to survive on the outside and get out quicker.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
And I just think, no disrespect intended, that she was so twisted by what happened to her that this is a result of it. Because I can't see anybody in there.
Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, baby.
But we have had other people. We had another woman that called into the show who was a rape victim, and she was taking the side of Michelle.
Same thing.
Okay. Yeah, nuts.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. But these doctors, here you've got a guy that's been convicted of at least 40-some rapes.
Yeah.
Okay. The pillowcase rapist, Christopher Hubbard. And they say it's okay to release him. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to reoffend. Okay?
And
Just like he didn't reoffend the other first time.
Yeah, and every time you released him, you said the same thing.
Within
Right.
5 minutes. I mean,
I know, because they're crazy.
The
They
minute
don't
you
think
move
like
your
us.
eye off him, it's
Okay.
ridiculous. It's just so...
It is ridiculous.
We're just so messed up. Oh, can I just... Side note?
Yeah.
CNN, we talk about immigration a lot. We do here.
Well, we do, because there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and it just so happens that CNN is airing a special on a Pulitzer Prize...
Pulitzer Prize winning.
Yes,
Something.
yes. Somebody with a prize. He's an author, and he's illegal. He's an illegal
Immigrant?
Thank you. It's Friday. I need to just go home. And it airs on CNN 9 p.m. And it takes you through exactly what you have to do to try to get citizenship, why it's so hard, the fact that, we come down so hard on these people that are put in this position, but 9 times out of 10, we're angry at the child that was brought in by the parent. You know what I mean? Like, you're a 12-year-old kid and your mom's saying you're moving. You have no clue that you're doing something illegal. You're going with your family.
Right.
Or you're 3 years old, or whatever the case is. But yet, you're doing all the things that you're supposed to do, but 17 years later, you can get your green card. I mean, it's very eye-opening. I can't wait to see it because I think it's going to also give me the ability to put on a different pair of glasses to be able to really see from the eye of the person who walks that walk. So I wanted to tell you guys in case you could get your television to go to CNN.
I was talking to somebody
Did you
just
get
the other
that,
day.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I watch CNN. I do. And ABC too. Okay. Anyway, I was talking to somebody just the other day that has went to Mexico, was in Tijuana for about the last 12, 14 months, okay? And I asked him, and now he's back here in California. I said, what was it like, okay? He said, you couldn't find work. Everything that you had to do to get money was a scam.
Really?
That's the only way you can get money, okay? You got to find stuff, steal stuff, sell stuff. There's no
Come on,
there's
people
no
have
employment.
to have a job
okay?
in Tijuana.
There's everything is
Somebody's
some
got to
kind of
get
a
a
scam.
check.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
The
Because
police
I know
officers.
that we've been out there a number of times, me and my family and friends, and I've seen friends go to these little jewelry kiosks and say, "Oh, I'm going to get a great deal. I'm in Mexico. It's going to be cheaper." And I'm like, it doesn't seem right. And lo and behold, she's dropping down $60 for this nice gold, chain. And no sooner do we get over the border into the hotel, does her neck turn green underneath.
Yeah, well,
It's like, hello, it's not. You're not going to get a bargain right there. Sorry.
well, you should know that, though. I mean, if you go to Tijuana and buy
Although
jewelry
there's
from
a guy,
kiosk,
there's a
that's
guy down there
stupid.
my mom loves who does stained glass, and it's beautiful.
Well, you can't fake that,
No,
but
it's
you can
beautiful.
certainly. And she was completely sold because the guy took her around the back, said this, probably water. When I put it on fake gold, it will just disintegrate. Watch. And, put it on something else and then put it on this. And she's like, yeah,
See, it's a scam.
Really, oh, it's a big
Everything is a scam.
Yeah.
And they're leaving South America. They're leaving to come here because life sucks over there.
Well, yeah.
There
but when are they
is-
going to rise up and clean their house?
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, it's the government. Okay.
Yeah,
It-
well,
it's they have.
they've
it's
had a
really
revolution
simple.
there before.
Well, I mean, let's just put this in the proper perspective. It can't be the whole country is living in absolute poverty. We see,
Well, you talk about the 1%. There's the 1%.
I
Right.
think it's a little bit more than 1%. I mean, these are people. These are secretaries that are going to work. These are construction workers. I mean, they have productivity as a whole. They have something to work through with their police and things like that, and their government. They've got to clean that out. But this is not. I mean, I've been to Costa Rica, a third world country, and that place is cleaner than Watts. And I'm telling you, I don't care.
What?
What is that?
What do you mean? What is that?
Run
How
that by me
clean
again.
is what?
It's not.
Well, yeah. Well,
So why? What do you mean?
I'm saying I've been to Costa Rica. It's
Yeah.
a third world country.
I've eaten
So
out of
you
a
would-
bowl that was cleaner than a toilet. I mean, that's not saying too much.
Well, okay. Let me just be very, very clear. I've been to Costa Rica, third world country. When you think of third world country, you're thinking, the roads are not paved. There's going to be kids on the street with tore up clothing, begging, trying to sell the chicles.
Right.
Just like really, really bad.
Right.
That was not the case. Yes, the buildings were old, but they were clean. They were organized. These people were completely into everything green. They were very much into utilizing the things that we would consider garbage, reusing it, making it productive. The country might not have a lot of money, but they were clean about it, and they were organized about it, and it was a beautiful place.
Got it.
As opposed to when you come here, and you know what I mean? All I'm saying is we can't just believe the hype of what we always hear.
Well,
Mexico would have crumbled if it was as bad as what half of us want to believe that it is.
Well, why don't people want to stay there then? If it's
No,
not as bad
some
as we want to
people
believe
don't
it
want to
is.
stay there. All Mexicans are not coming to California or United States. I mean, there's celebrities there. Come on, they do have work. I'm not saying that they don't.
Okay, there's an extreme amount of poverty. Okay, in a lot of those countries in South America. Okay.
Okay.
Extreme amount of poverty, and I mean, from El Salvador, from everywhere, from Colombia, they're all trying to get here.
Okay, they're all trying to get here again.
Because life. Well, look at what is happening right now.
But do you hear me when I'm saying they're not all trying to come here? All
No,
of them
they're
are
not.
not.
Oh, please
No,
don't tell me
they're
you're
not.
going to be an apologist for the government of Mexico. That's the most repressive,
No, I'm so
horrible,
not trying to do
corrupt.
that. I'm just saying that the truth of the matter is that the whole country is not shot to hell. It's not shot to hell, the whole country. People are finding a way.
People that have been forced, okay, for whatever reason,
Wow.
okay, to live in poverty or to live with nothing have said, I want to leave because
Okay.
I can't do better here.
Okay.
I want to leave and I want to go to the United States of America.
Or other countries.
Or another country
Right.
where I hear I will have an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I can't believe, though, that adults, that parents in Mexico are sending their kids, okay, by themselves.
Yeah.
Okay? Which which is amazing. Okay?
I mean, it's like, what stories are you hearing in Mexico
Which is just... And
that's
then,
making you believe that it's a good idea to send your 4-year-old across the border by themselves?
right. And then just yesterday, House Speaker Boehner was making a comment because these kids are coming over here. Their clothes are torn. They have no underwear. I mean, they're missing everything that they need. And he made a comment that, I don't want the American tax dollars buying underwear for these kids. Mm-hmm. Okay? What a schmuck. Mm-hmm. Okay? These are children. Mm-hmm. These are kids.
But that's the same guy that would say, I don't want to pay for somebody else to have insurance. Or I don't want to pay for... I mean, and the list goes on with that guy, because his stuff is set.
Yeah, because
And he's only worried about him and his.
Okay. But it is
And
really...
that's who we have, and that's what somebody elected. That's the disgusting thing.
Okay. Well, there's going to be a change there shortly anyway.
Please.
But we do have a problem right now in Texas. It's a major problem. The Homeland Security just sent over another 300 to 500 agents.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, they need it.
They need more.
Hold hands and cover the border, damn it. What is the problem?
They can't even process. They can't even house.
Jeez.
Okay?
You should be
Everyone
embarrassed.
that's there. It is a problem.
Yeah.
Okay? It is a substantial problem. And I feel for these kids that are coming over.
I mean, it's almost like they
And-
got their feet up and, oh, I see another one.
And it's the smugglers that
Forget
are bringing them
about it.
over. We don't even have the resources to deal with them.
And you know, at the end of the day, when they really start figuring it out, how many of these people are going to be arrested because they made deals with some of these smugglers?
Yeah.
What people?
They
Homeland Security.
Oh, I thought you were thinking.
What?
I thought you were talking mules.
What? So
You
no.
you
Got the
don't,
prison wallet
I'm sorry,
all full
Wait
of
a
coke.
minute.
You don't think...
Here we go again. Here we go.
You don't
All right.
think that somebody in Homeland Security, somebody that's Border Patrol, you don't think that maybe 1-2 of them might be having a deal with somebody and you know, like turning the other way when they come in with their 200 people?
Like the cell phone service in the jails.
No, huh, Steve? Because that
I
wouldn't
don't know.
happen. Because
Yes,
these people
yes,
are
there
straight
have been-
from heaven.
No, there have been
Now, I've watched
prosecutions and
the
arrests.
Border Patrol show, and
Okay.
none of that ever happened on it.
Yes. No.
Not on that show.
No.
Yes, Angelina, you're right. Okay.
Okay.
There have been
Well,
some
you
bad
looked at me
apples.
like, are you kidding?
You know what?
Such a thing.
Sacrilege.
Yes. You gave me this look like she's going to say the most horrible
You know,
thing.
No,
because
that face
it's
wasn't for you.
always-
That face was reserved for me and my comment.
No, because it's always a negative something when it comes to law enforcement. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know how they're getting past the border.
We don't have enough people guarding the border.
Oh, that's what it is. Not
Okay,
one
they're
of
down
them
there-
is
they're
gonna...
down-
Not one.
Okay, that's right. All the Border
I
Patrol
didn't say all.
agents. Okay,
I didn't
some
say
of
all.
the Border Patrol agents.
said-
okay,
I
are
said-
living in 9,000 square foot mansions in Hidden Hills because they're making so much money because they're turning their back
No.
because the coyotes are
No.
giving them
I
$1,000 each.
bet you they got some offshore accounts. And I don't think it's all of them. But all I'm saying is that these are human beings. We met some really good stand-up LAPDs yesterday. And these are human beings. And they're subject to the same things that anybody else are. And if somebody comes to you with enough money and life has gotten in your way, you can bend. Just stop thinking they're all.
Okay.
I mean,
no,
I'm
we've
saying.
talked about that, and you know, Jeff has talked about that, you know, with you know, CIA and different people, that, you know, the easiest way to turn somebody around, you know, find a weakness, and one of the weaknesses is going to be money.
Absolutely.
Okay. Find somebody whose credit sucks and they're behind on their home payments.
Oh, my God.
And you can make them give up
Quick,
whatever you
fast.
want. Okay, I get that. Okay,
But
We
you
did-
just live in this thing of, oh my, you're kidding me, no way. It's got to be slapped in. I got to bring papers and papers and papers.
No, it's just always a negative thing.
It's the reality.
Okay? So, we did have a really cool meeting yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
With two guys from the Los Angeles Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it was really, it was a cool meeting, okay? It was cool because maybe there'll be, oftentimes you look at law enforcement differently than I do. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. So maybe there'll be an opportunity that you can look at law enforcement from law enforcement's perspective. That's all I'm saying, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. All right?
No, you know what?
I'm just leaving it
because
at
I don't
that.
appreciate it. And the reason why I don't
I
appreciate
said everything
it,
perfectly.
You didn't say it perfectly because you allude to the fact that the way I look at LAPD or any law enforcement is not correct.
No.
And it is correct. No, you allude to it. And let me just finish mine because I was quiet.
No, you don't get to trash me that way.
I was quiet.
I didn't say it was incorrect. I said we look at things differently. That doesn't make it wrong.
And then you said to me, and now maybe you'll see it through their eyes. Giving me the impression as if I'm off. No. Like my perception is off.
Don't assume. You know what they say about assumptions. So don't
assume.
Well,
that's why. Can I speak so that you can clarify whatever your intentions was?
Go ahead.
With the whole, did you vote for the gang guy? Remember that?
Because that's the one and I was right too.
No, you weren't, and Jeff and I both said you weren't.
Did you vote for that guy?
No, I didn't.
Did you, Jeff? You guys remember that?
Yeah. We're talking about the way you did it. So anyway, it's not that I'm not sympathetic towards what they have to endure as police officers. But I think that there needs to be, first, a bridge to reconnect the community and all of the community to understand that the police are definitely on our side. Because of the fact that we have social media that is the very first in showing everything negative by means of what the LAPD or the sheriff's departments do, they need to do something to counteract that. The other thing is, it's a reality. They're not making up these stories that people are putting on social media. These are true cases of LAPD or sheriff's department that are acting incorrectly.
True.
And but you're still... I can make things on video look very different than how they actually turn out. I'm not saying that it never happens, but you're seeing things through a negative not a narrow perspective.
Yes.
Out of context.
Yes. You're seeing things where you don't get the beginning part of it.
Right.
And I totally get that. But sometimes you see the whole thing from the beginning and end.
Yeah, you do, and it looks bad.
And it is bad.
Right.
I mean, I just saw the other day a clip of some people called the cops because of somebody acting crazy outside, and the two police officers were at the front door, and there was a grandmother, a son, and then behind the grandmother was another son, and he was filming the cops talking to the family. And they had asked him to stop filming, and he said, I'm within my rights, I'm going to film. And I believe what the cop was trying to do was he was trying to reach into the house and slap the camera out the gentleman's hand. Well, he ended up slapping the grandmother down. Slapped the crap out the old lady with the hip replacements.
I haven't seen that one. But you're right. I know. Okay.
You know what I mean? So anyway, back to my point. So my point is, number one, they've got some serious work to do to get the community to get back to the point of trust with them. Number two, we need to, once we bridge that gap, then hopefully we can get the public to be more respectful. Because one of the things that one of the guys that came over to the job yesterday, he was telling me, which shocked me, was that one of his jobs is to review footage of the patrol guys. So they'll be on patrol on one day. 2 days later, he's going through all that footage to critique them and to, offer suggestions on what they did wrong or
your arrest may be recorded for quality control purposes.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's true. Anytime they turn on their light bar, the camera goes on.
Yeah. And so what he said was you would be amazed on how disrespectful people are to the cops. And I am. Because there's no way in God's green earth am I going to be rude to somebody standing next to me with a gun. So when he told me that, I was so shocked. And you know what? They are human. And all they can do is deal with their own realities. And, you know, if you're getting constantly beat down and beat down and beat down and beat down, I would imagine that after a certain amount of time, you would become jaded and you're not going to be the nicest that you were when you first came out the academy. The other thing that I think that is crucial, and I never thought about, was he was talking to me about the sheriff department. And he said, well, did you know the sheriff department, they all start in the jails.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're doing 5 years in the jails with criminals.
Right.
Yeah, that's
hardened criminals. And what is that doing to them? How is that helping them to be able to deal with the public that they're thrown into after 5 years of dealing with that? So now, you know,
it's going to leave a nasty.
Yeah, and now they've got that nasty attitude because they've been dealing with nasty people for 5 years on the street, pulling over the little person that ran the red light.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean? It's like you're not going to come to my window. Hey, you know, you just you ran that red light. You come into the red light. What you think you do? You know what I mean?
No.
It's like
No.
That's exactly what he said.
Okay.
No, Steve.
Okay.
What do you think is going to happen? You get jaded.
You do get jaded. When I was a kid, okay, I was taught and I grew up to respect law enforcement. Okay, It was interesting because one of the officers yesterday talked about being on the street and walking by or driving by a grandmother or a mother, you know, with their 3 or 4 or 5 year old child. All right, and the child is waving to the officer, and the officer waves back to the child, and the mother pulls the child and says, "Don't talk to them; they're bad."
Right.
Okay, that's a problem. That's a problem that we need to fix. We need, and we've talked to Captain Don Ford about that problem too. Okay, that is a perception and a problem that we need to work on.
Yeah.
Up here, LASD has been, you know, they've been doing community outreach.
But in the same fashion of what you just said, one day I'm taking the boys to school, and I turn the corner, and everybody does it. I'm not saying that I was right. But everybody, because it's only a one lane to go down the street to deposit your child, everybody will turn, if you're in the turning lane, into the median and then wait for a chance to get over into the lane and then, you know, and then go deposit your child. Well, this particular day, I'm making a left and nobody's in the lane. Nobody's in the middle divider. And I'm like, wow, I lucked out. No, I didn't. There was a cop there waiting for somebody else to do the same thing because they had, you know, they were tired of us doing that. So the cop swoops up, he gets out the car, and I'm like, oh, I got busted. And he came to the window with my boys that I'm about to drop off at school, and he screamed at me like I just ran over a 5-year-old child. Now, this is, you're saying that we need to get back to training our kids to respect police when this is what comes to my window. If I tell my kid, respect police, honey, they're your friend, my kid is looking at him like, no, he's not. So it does, you know, you got to start with them.
Yeah,
you can't come to the window for a stupid traffic thing and lose your mind.
Okay, he had a bad day, and I understand what you're saying. Okay?
And this was 7 o'clock in the morning. Dang, what time did you start? You got a bad day.
Maybe. Okay. I get it, okay?
Yeah.
But we need to change that perspective.
Yes,
okay?
on both sides. But unfortunately, it starts with the police officers because they're the ones that got the power. And they're the ones that can set the precedents.
Well, it also starts with the parents in the home.
We're not going to trust until we see something going on that's different, Steve. I'm sorry. I know that your reality is going to be absolutely different than mine, but the reality is that we need to see something change within the department. It was so funny because one of the officers had asked me, "Are you watching the trial?" And my eye went up because I'm saying to myself, "Really, you're going to ask me about that?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, what do you think happened? Who do you think is at fault?" I said, "How about Baca and Tanaka?" And he said, "Oh, I wasn't talking about that one."
Which one were they talking about?
He was talking about the man that was beat at the Angel Stadium.
Oh, Brian Stowe. Yeah, I'm waiting for the jury to come in.
Yeah, and
okay.
I'm sitting there saying, "Oh, he's asking me about that."
Yeah, I'm waiting for the jury to come in that has been in deliberation on the 6 LASD deputies that right now are on trial for, corruption, bribery, obstruction, conspiracy, all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
I'm waiting for that jury to come in.
Yeah, well, you said a whole week.
I think it's going to take a week, okay? And I think you're going to get some guilty.
I still want to know what the demographics of the jury is. Or how about this? I will tell you, once you tell me the verdict, I will tell you what the makeup of the jury is.
Okay, well, I don't know the jury. I have no idea.
Well,
we don't know.
I will tell you.
Soon, attorneys will be able to use social media to determine whether they want that juror, person to sit. I don't think that's right. I don't either.
I really don't. Okay. I don't think that you should be able to vet them in this manner. You can't even. You don't even vet the vice president of the United States as hard as you do.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they messed up with Sarah Palin.
Yeah. So I don't know why you say they do. So anyway, I think that it should just really be a very random pick of the pool. Because if I was going in and I was looking for some people on the jury, and I knew what I was dealing with, I'm looking for specific people that look like their life has no idea of this and they can't even fathom it. Because chances are, if you can't fathom it, you're not going to be able to be sold by it. And that's not right.
Well, if they go through my social media, they'll never pick me.
Oh, they won't pick Jeff or I either?
No, they won't. Yeah, but yesterday's meeting with the LAPD was...
I've never been called for jury duty? Why is that? Mm-hmm. Who'd you talk to?
You haven't even gone to...
Oh, now let me ask you a question.
Who'd you talk to?
Now, let me ask you a question. Nobody, because if I had talked to somebody, you'd be picked every month. Okay? And why do you think they didn't pick you?
I don't know.
You got singled out. You think they're discriminating against you?
No. I'm not saying that I was brought in and I was never picked. Right. I was never brought in. I was never called. You
think for some reason they've just got to...
No, I'm just wondering why I've never been called.
I don't know. You've been called a lot, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. Every time I'm up,
only once for me.
Yeah, it's once a year I'm there.
Why?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Never called.
I have no idea.
Well, maybe I just throw all my mail away.
Yeah. By the way, and we'll talk about that off the show. I don't want to talk about it on the air, but you got to check your mail. Okay? Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Real quick, I just want to finish up with this kid, this little boy from Detroit, 12-year-old Charlie Bothwell, who went missing. Was found in his basement. Yeah. Okay. In some kind of a hidden makeshift shelter. Mm-hmm. His mom was arrested on a probation violation. Stepmother. Mm-hmm. Okay. I saw this stepmother on the news, and I saw his dad, and I said, when I saw him with Nancy Grace, it looked a little bit fake. That was just my take on it. Okay. And I'm not sure, but what I find is weird is that the FBI searched the house in the basement.
Lord have mercy.
Detroit police searched the house in the basement.
They put in cadaver dogs.
They brought dogs, in.
You would think that, I get that they're supposed to smell death, but you would think they'd hear something.
Then Detroit police said there's no way, first they said there's no way he could have been here for that long, okay? He could not have been down here for this long. The little boy did tell law enforcement last night that he would leave his shelter after the house was empty and it was clear. He would leave and he would go in the house and he would eat and use the bathroom.
Oh, you serious?
Yeah, and then he'd go back in.
So he did that to himself?
He said that he would leave and then go back to his shelter. I don't know whether he was ordered down there or not. I heard that the boy had to exercise.
Yeah.
And if he didn't exercise, he was in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, corporal punishment.
Yeah.
And they found a PVC pipe with blood on it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's some strange stuff.
It's some strange stuff going on in that. But I can't see the father. I can't see. Why would you go to the police and say that he's missing if you put him down there?
I don't know. That's weird. And we're going to find out. Something's going to happen there. And we'll find out in the next 24 hours, I know. Okay? If it's not
the
already
poor
out.
baby had tried to run away a couple times trying to get to his mother.
Which one? This little boy? Trying to get to his real mom.
Yeah. One time he was gone for several hours. Another time he was gone for a day.
I don't know.
So he was trying to get out of there.
I don't know.
And he's with his mother now, his biological mother now.
Good.
Right. All the kids have been removed from the house.
There's other kids there?
There are. And they have all been turned over to Child Protective Services.
As they should, man.
Until they can figure this thing out.
I wonder if somebody was helping him, one of the other kids.
I don't know. We'll
this
find
is a
out.
Story.
Okay. He's being interviewed by a psychologist this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. They gave him a little break last night and let him rest. And I know Dad's really upset because Dad wants to see him.
Baby, I was hitting you with that PVC for your own good. I thought you knew that.
Yeah.
It's because you didn't do 25 jumping jacks.
Remember? Yeah, we'll find out. Remember a story that we covered, and we've covered for the last couple of weeks, about an LAPD detective, Frank Liga. Okay? Frank Liga was the detective that shot and killed a fellow LAPD officer in 1997.
That's not what he looks like, is it?
Kevin, that's the detective, Frank Liga. Shot and killed Kevin Gaines, who was undercover at the time. All right? Yesterday, Frank Liga has been relieved of duty. He was forced to turn in his gun and his badge, give up his department car, and he is assigned to remain at home right now with pay. He is assigned to remain at home.
We're going to still pay, you know.
This guy, going back to the start of the original Rampart scandal, this goes back. He and a couple of other people, they go back to that, to another guy, another officer, Rafael Perez, who actually stole cocaine from the lockup. This is the whole, and this is part of why, okay, we have a problem at times with law enforcement and with the way we look at it, okay? And it's not just this, and it's not just law enforcement. Look, we've got 3 senators in Sacramento, okay, that are all being indicted, one for guns charges, okay?
Yeah.
So there's corruption all over the place.
Yeah, but this affects people's day-to-day life. The Senate
affects people's. They were collecting money to vote and pass on bills that affect all of our lives.
I totally get that, but
Okay.
but this is more day-to-day in the sense that you can't drive down the street with, you're driving down the street hoping you're making it home, and maybe you're not because you've got crooked cops like this on the street. Like, how do you end up killing an undercover cop?
He was clear to that. I'm going to just say
that's
that.
bullshit.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you do that again?
But this is internet.
You did it on the radio too.
Because it is what it is, and you need to call it out for what it is.
All right.
This guy is no joke, and they gave him a badge for a long time, and then told him to start training people.
Yeah, well, see, his
you need to look at everybody that he's trained, and make sure that they're all good. Because he's telling them, look, this is how you do it. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't know what this man was telling these poor new guys. Aren't you concerned? We should be.
Well, yeah, of course I'm concerned. I absolutely am concerned.
Every single one of his arrests we need to look at.
See, now that's the thing, though, okay? Just like the senators that were indicted up in Sacramento, or this detective, or other people in the sheriff's department and everything else, yeah, then you start digging into stuff, and stuff has to get unwound. And that's happened across the country.
Yeah.
It has happened across the country where they went back in, and now they got to go release 25 guys because this is not right, and da-da-da-da. Okay.
Then they go look for, where's Raymond Wilson? Where's he? We executed him last week. Dang.
But it is a problem. You're right. It is day to day, okay? And you come into contact with these people. You are right. That is a problem. It's a major, major problem. One story that we haven't talked about that we really need to is a story about this Looney Tune crazy nanny, Diane Stretton.
Man.
Okay?
I don't know.
Squatter nanny.
What?
Okay.
Squatter nanny.
A family. Okay, listen. A family here needs a nanny. So they go to Craigslist. They find a nanny. They bring her over. They interview her.
Bring her over from where? Another country?
No,
No.
they
Over to the house.
over to the house.
Okay.
They interview her. They call all her references. They check her all out. They hire her. All right. She works for him for a couple of months. Everything's going good. And then one day, the nanny says, "I don't want to work anymore."
Yeah, I have COPD.
Okay. So no,
Is
that's
that
not
what
what
she
she
said?
said.
Yeah, she did.
She said she had COPD?
Okay. She says, "I don't want to work anymore."
Well, we don't have any more electricity, so you got to take your oxygen tank somewhere else.
No. So wow. Okay. So they said, no, you have to work. And so they would give her a list of demands. This is what you have to do. If you don't do it, you're fired.
Right.
All right? I'm not fired. I'm not leaving. I live here. They can't get her out of the house.
Stop it.
Yeah,
They went to
she won't
court.
leave her room.
They went to court to try to get her thrown out. They lost.
What?
The judge says she stays. She's established residency. She's established that she lives there. She stays. Now they have to go through a long and expensive process. Meanwhile, though, okay, understand, they have to keep treating her. They can't kick her out. They'll be subject to a huge lawsuit.
Oh, she got to go.
She said, if you do anything, I'll get you for elder abuse.
Yeah. So she is in the house. There's nothing they can do. Now, this woman has not only done this once, but she's done a lot of things like this before. Okay?
Yeah, she's a
and she's got
serial
lawsuits. Yeah.
Lawsuit
Okay.
nut.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. She has been. The Superior Court has said that she is a vexatious litigant. Okay. She's out of control. She has been sued by associations all over the place. She's got open civil cases in all kinds of areas.
Oh, my God. This poor family.
And
Talk
right.
about a need to vet
Okay.
people, especially
Their
if you're going to have
kids-
somebody in looking after your kids.
Their
in your
kids
home.
are in their bedrooms
Excuse me.
across the hall from this nanny who's just a psycho
Yeah.
nutcase.
The mom's
okay?
had to quit her job so she could keep an eye on this woman.
Right. Kids are under lock and key in their bedroom. Okay? Can you imagine?
Nope.
And
She
the-
would disappear.
Yeah.
I'd go like this.
Jeff?
You ain't never lied. Just don't tell Cindy.
be out there in Cal City with the next other ones.
You
right?
keep saying the desert is full of them.
It is.
You have one more.
Right.
She would not be tormenting. But see, I know you're going to say this is bad. This is why you don't call the police all the time. Some things you got to just take care of yourself.
They are stuck with this woman.
They would have been.
They didn't go through a nanny service. Okay? They didn't run a background check on her.
So how long is it going to take them to kick her out?
Well, it can take months.
You're crazy.
It could be
Okay.
6 months. It could
so
be 3
I
months.
would go to my breaker. She'd have no power. We would call the
You
plumber.
can't
Can't
do
do
that.
that.
Oh,
They could
please.
call the police
can't-
on you.
You can't
call
do
who
that.
you,
Yes.
Call your mama too.
No.
Because you're
They'll
going to be
arrest-
miserable.
They'll throw you in jail.
See,
okay?
no,
and she'll have a civil suit, and she'll win.
The family did not talk to the right people. They should have never called the police. That's not how you deal with
They
stuff
should have
like
called
that.
Frank Liga,
They should have called Frank.
right? Right?
Yep. I wouldn't have been
They're
calling
stuck in
I'd
the
have
house.
been like, Jeff, you know what? Margarita tripping.
No, but you know what? But that is a problem. Okay,
Yeah,
That's-
I will whoop her A.
that is a problem. I've had a tenant living in my house in Quartz Hill,
Never
and
would've
couldn't get him
happened.
out. And it was a friend. Okay.
That was a friend?
Well, it wasn't a friend of mine. Okay,
No.
and couldn't get him out, and had to evict him, and it was terrible.
No.
Absolutely terrible.
So she never leaves out the house to go to the store or
Nope.
nothing?
No.
She doesn't have visitors, does she?
I don't know whether she has visitors.
Yo, I'm telling
She's
you.
in there watching HBO.
Yeah.
She was not.
She's hanging out.
She's not. There's not cable in her room.
Of course, she's got everything. She was set
There's
up.
no
And
way
you can't
in
cut it off.
God's green earth
Yeah,
would she have cable.
yeah.
That witch would get a bucket of water a day, because my water's just not running in that room.
Okay, the thing is, though,
Some flashlights.
the judge that ruled against the family, okay, when you understand this stuff, and I get it that if you rule improperly, somebody can appeal it, okay, but who gives a crap,
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah.
just say kick her out, okay? Give an order to the sheriff and get her out,
Yeah.
okay? And if she wants to appeal it, go appeal it.
Yeah. Let her have to pay for it.
But this is crazy. This is one place where our laws are nuts,
One.
okay?
I
Well,
tell
this is a
you all the
perfect
time, we just
example.
need to start bringing the book out and just going page by page.
This is
Because that's crazy.
It is. This is a perfect example of
Yes.
where the laws are way out of control.
Oh, my God.
Hey, what's this? I hear that your friend Sherry Shepard is leaving The View.
Yeah, she's done.
Aw.
Yeah. She's been there 7 years. She's off to something else.
She's off to something else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, talk to me
Bigger and
about
better
this.
thing.
I'm trying to prep
there's
you.
no conspiracy behind it. She
No.
just has been there as long as she needed to be to get the most out of it, and I think that it's just time for her to move on.
I wonder if Barbara Walters is a pleasure to work with.
Barbara is really nice. You would be amazed. I mean, she gets along with everybody. She's so sweet. Come on over to the house anytime type of woman. What are you thinking?
So Jenny McCarthy tweeted that if Sherry goes, I go too.
I know. That's sweet.
Okay, so Jenny McCarthy said, hey, I quit.
Yeah.
Will there be more?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Fine.
I doubt it.
That's too bad.
It is too bad.
That's-
I mean, I loved watching her on it, and she hasn't had me on as a guest yet. And
Oh.
and I think she needs to do at least another year so I can come on.
There you go.
Well, we should bring her on our show,
Yeah,
and
sure.
and we'll talk about it.
All right.
Okay, she'd be a great guest. Okay, She
Again,
would.
we've had her before.
Yep, we have.
yeah, she'd be a great guest. We're out of time.
Yep.
It's
Oh.
Friday. All right. I want everybody to have a safe weekend. Have a great weekend. Thanks for making us the #1 News Talk radio program in the Antelope Valley, and we'll be back on Monday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.